welcome to another episode of Dating Indefinitely. We are on episode 10, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys, we did it. We made it to double digits.
We're in the double
Woo!
digits.
We're in the double digits. That's what I meant. Yes. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I can count. I count for a living, so I know how to count.
Yes.
Okay, so
Can you fix that? That's bothering me.
yeah,
Your cord.
like this. Sorry, technical difficulty issues. Okay, it's
Yes.
fixed. There we go. Some people like their wires in order.
So what's today's topic?
So this week, we are focusing on how fights and kind of, just being upset with each other affects relationships differently, being married or, just being with your long-term partner versus dating. So
It sucks.
it does not suck. It's just different. And you have to approach things differently, especially when you want to keep romance alive in your relationship and all of that jazz. So, getting into it, we really think that, you know, the some of the main differences in, fights and stuff, being married versus just dating. If you don't, well, we should say, especially like living together versus not living together is, I would say number one is you don't really have an escape unless you are the type of couple where you're okay with somebody just leaving the house and you don't know where they're going. We are not that couple. We have decided before we moved in together, got married, that if one of us was upset or we're fighting, that we would not leave the house. That's just something we don't believe in.
You can leave the room, though.
Yeah, you can leave the room. We just don't believe in leaving the house. So that's very different than dating. Like if we had a fight or if, I was at his house and we had a fight or something, I could just leave. I could just leave, cool off, and then we would talk the next day or something.
Or if it was like over text or something, then
Yeah.
you just
Then you just
stop texting.
you just don't respond anymore and you just,
You just hop on Call of Duty and
You're
then
so
just
rude.
let your anger go.
whatever.
Play with the homies online, and it was just chill.
Yeah, so that's kind of our past experience with dating. Was you had time to cool off, you could leave, you had that separation of being able to do your own individual thing of cooling off during fights.
It also depends on what kind of person you are. Because for me,
Yeah. Because we're very different in fights.
Yeah.
He's very much a
leave
it alone. Don't talk about it. We'll get over it later. I came from a family where we talked about everything, which is good. We got our feelings out and me especially, I needed to talk about my feelings. So especially in fights, I needed to fix it now. That's just
See, for me, it's not leave it alone and like just sweep it on the rug. It's just like leave me alone for a little bit.
yeah.
Let me cool off, and then
yes.
we can talk about it when I'm clear-headed because
Yeah.
I cannot focus.
But
if
me,
I'm
I'm a fix it now person.
Yeah, and then that
So
triggers me.
two different people
Yeah,
right there.
It sucks.
So if you're in that type of relationship, this is for you. So yeah, just in those past experiences, it was a weird switch from going from that's how we dealt with fights and being upset to now, okay, we're married. We decided we can't just leave the house. You can't just up and leave. So we definitely over the past like 2 years, pretty much, right? It's been like 2 years of living together, where we had to come up with how we're gonna deal with fights and stuff, and when we're not vibing.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does suck. It's. I will say, I feel like how we deal with fights have gotten better because we've learned how to. We've learned
still
each other's.
learning.
We're still. Obviously, we're still learning, but we've learned each other's like triggers now. So
I still don't know your triggers that well.
we'll talk about triggers. Trust me. Um, but one thing we have super learned is forgiveness is like number one. Don't don't hold on to stuff that's going to cause resentment. Cuz that definitely plays a big part in I feel like the romance in life, you know?
Yeah,
Because
you
if you
can't resent
resent
your
somebody, you're
partner.
not going to want to like do romantic things with each other. You're not going to want to look forward to those date nights and stuff because you have that like little bit of resentment built. So we're very much into talking to the point of forgiveness, apologizing, all of that.
Yeah, but you also have to like change
Oh
the
yeah.
behavior,
Changing the behavior is number 1.
which is a long road
Yeah.
because you can't just.
Well, it depends on the behavior.
Well, yeah, 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 yeah. But
If
like,
it's something that's a deep habit or something that's built in, yes, that takes a while, but it like, the little things that can be changed
yeah. Okay,
for
so what are
sure.
your triggers?
Well, let's see. What do you think my triggers are?
I don't know. I guess it's just.
I'll give you the first one. So, this gives you guys a big deep dive into our personal lives. So, thank you for joining us today. So one of his that he does that triggers me in a fight is if he says like it's not that big of a deal. Yes. So if I'm very upset about something, I get very passionate about things. So maybe it's not, but it's a big deal to me, which means it is a big
But
deal
it's not a big
because
deal.
emotions are valid. Your emotions are valid, ladies. It is not that big of a deal, or it is a big deal.
It's not that big of a
It
deal.
is a big deal because it's a big deal to you, which means it's a big deal because emotions are valid. So that's my big trigger that he's actually gotten way better at. I will say the past few fights that we've had have not.
We don't fight all the time, by the way.
No,
I just want to point that out.
we are not big fighters, but we want to talk about when we do fight because I feel like that very much affects how the future of the relationship goes with like resentment and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of my big ones is saying it's not that big of a deal, which I know there's ladies out there where their men say what you're feeling right now is not that big of a deal.
Interesting.
Interesting. But you know
No, I
now.
know,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
I know, I know, I know. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, and again, this is really more of like a behavioral thing between couples. Like it's
Mhm.
not gonna be the same for everyone. But like I feel like when we do get upset at each other, we just kind of fall into this loop
Mhm.
of like just kind of being upset.
The
Both
shutdown.
we both shut down.
Mhm.
We just are processing our thoughts.
It's like we both want to say something, but both don't know how to say it, so we're just in this constant loop of quietness and it sucks.
Yeah. It like
And it
we're like
draws it
we
out
don't
for hours.
it goes on for a while, and I
Yeah.
think that's something that we need to fix.
No, we've gotten
But
way
like
better at it though.
for me, like we talk about like we can't leave the house, but we can leave the room.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like if I leave the room, it only makes it worse.
I will say that has gotten better because I'm more okay giving your space now because I've learned his trigger, which is that he does need,
Yeah,
space in the beginning.
my trigger is like if we're upset,
He needs some time in the
I
beginning.
need you to leave me alone.
And
Just
that's
like
because
let me just cool
yeah,
off. Let me
yeah.
just process what's going on. Let me process my response to whatever the problem is.
Well, and in the past especially, I needed the response then and now, whereas he needs time to think about his response. And so I've learned that it's taken me a while to learn that, but now I know, like, okay, he needs a little bit of time to know what he's gonna say because he needs to process it.
I feel like one of your triggers is when I say like maybe not like when I say like it's not a big deal, but like I just don't understand what the problem is.
Yes, that's a huge trigger because then I'm like, "You're not listening to
But it's
me."
like I am listening. I view it differently than you, so
Yeah,
like I don't understand what the
and
problem
that's
is.
where the play of, like, you need more communication comes in.
And then we fall into this loop and
Yeah.
then we just don't talk and then we're upset and then
Yeah.
yeah. But again, it's different for every we're
Different
not
for every
I feel
couple.
like it's better I will say I much prefer that over like you and me have never had this issue of we shout.
Yeah,
We have
we've
never
never
shouted.
we never yell at each other. We've
Nope.
we've never been yell at each other type people, but at the same time, it's like, okay, is it worse that we can't talk? Like, no, I wouldn't say that. Maybe yelling's worse, but we don't yell or scream at each other, but like we'll shut down and then neither of us know what to say.
Well, for me, and I guess this is getting into personal lives. I grew up in a household where there is yelling
Shouting and yelling.
when you're pissed off.
Yeah.
You just let it out and you just kind of go at it, and
Right.
maybe that, I don't know, maybe that is a good thing because you're like letting it out, but at the same time
Yeah.
it's like, is it fair for the other person?
Well, then it's like learning like quick to anger.
Yeah. So I feel like that's another thing that I'm still learning is like, because I mean I feel like I've never yelled at you.
No, you've never yelled at me.
So like it's like I'm trying to like process, what do I say even when like we're like really mad at each other, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, just
Screaming on the inside.
yeah. Um, like yeah, like how do I handle that? And then I just like shut down because I'm like
Yeah.
in this like loop of, I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot at this point, but like that's
No, no, but I get that. It's yeah. You're trying to break like a pattern and stuff.
yeah. So like I also feel like going into like, because one of the topics here is like don't let it affect date night.
Yeah, don't let your fighting affect date night, especially like if you're fighting the day before date night or day of date night, cuz that's happened to us. Like
It has.
we've had date nights planned and then if we get into a fight or a disagreement or something, then
It kind of throws it off.
basically cancel date night. Like we've had like stuff planned before that we didn't go do because of the fight or whatever. So
Yeah.
whether you have to table the fight till after date night or I don't know, but like just don't let it affect date night cuz when you start letting it affect date night and you start canceling stuff, it's really easy to keep doing
Falling in
that.
that
Keep
habit.
falling in that habit like like we have our fight. Okay. Well, we're not going to go see that movie now. Like we're not cuz I'm too mad or I'm too upset.
I
Life is too short for that. Don't let that affect
I feel like
date
I've
night.
in the past when that has happened, we usually like do pretty well about picking it up the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good idea, like, instead of just totally canceling it for that week, like, yeah, maybe you didn't do it that night, but, if you guys are able to talk about it the next day or something, try your best to continue date night that next day or something.
So one thing that I've tried and I feel like it worked is, well, okay. First off, let me back off a little. I feel
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it is very common for men to be the ones to apologize. So, and I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying like, you know, in a relationship, in a marriage, and again, this I feel like this is very universal.
Yeah.
Like men are the one that like come to their woman and they're like, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry. How can we work? Sorry,
Whoa.
how can we work this out?"
Hitting the mic.
And in the
Yeah.
past, I feel like this one time we had like a, not a date night plan, but like,
Mhm.
hey, this night is for us kind of thing.
Right.
And I had this thing planned for you, but then we like got in an argument, and then like it kind of took away 2 hours of our evening. So what
Right.
I did was I went into my room, in my room. I went into the room
Yeah.
and I set up the home theater. I don't know if you remember that, in the apartment, where I put up the screen and the
Oh,
projector.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I had that planned. And I remember we were upset, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. Like screw this. I'm just gonna go and make make music and just, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah.
But then I remember like as I was sitting down, I was like, no, I should still do this because we're both
I'm
upset.
glad you did. I remember that.
We can't just be upset. Like I'm gonna do this because this is what I had planned. And
Like, you didn't just give up on it just
yeah,
because we were upset.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So like I did end up setting up the projector. I did end up like laying down blankets for us, and the sound system and everything, and like
Yeah.
so my point is sometimes doing date night can resolve your issue.
The fight, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't upset anymore because he put so much thought into this and it helped relieve all the tension and stuff. So maybe you push through the fight and just do date night anyways, even if you still are a little upset. Cause sometimes that date night can fix it because you have that reminder of, yeah, we chose each other. Like, I'm here because I chose you and I love
Yeah.
you.
It reminds me of one of those memes that I saw. It's like when you're upset at each other, but you're still cooking for her, and it's like I
Yeah.
thought it was funny.
No, I like that.
Like you still give her food and whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I just, well, we both think that you just need to keep kind of romance at the forefront because then it's a lot easier to not let fights and stuff affect you cuz when you're both not doing the romance, you're both not making each other feel special. It's a lot easier to fight more and it's a lot easier to
Yeah.
get ticked off and
When you just become like
easier.
roommates and
Yeah, when you get in the roommate phase, guys, it's not fun.
no.
Do not let yourself get to roommates. And I know it's it's easier for us to say that because we have no kids. Um we know that there are people out there who it's a little bit harder with kids and we know that. So we haven't had to struggle with that yet of the roommate effect when you have kids. Um, we've experienced a little bit just me and him, so I can't even imagine like with kids. But if you have kids, we just encourage you to keep trucking along and try to push through those fights and push through the tension and stuff and do date night anyways, especially if you have kids and you can only do date night once a week or something.
Yeah.
That is your time. Don't let fights and stuff affect your time together. Like maybe table a conversation for another time and still do date night because that will help, you know, complete the fight basically later, like and relieve the tension if you guys have a nice time together.
No, I have a friend at my old job that he told me he's like, "Oh yeah, Tuesdays is our date night. Like we don't
Yeah,
whatever whatever's going on, Tuesdays is for us because the rest of the week we have work. We have to take
exactly.
care of our
You
kids.
have
We
to
have to
dedicate that time
and
together.
I mean again, like we don't have kids, so we don't really
We don't
we
really know
can't
that struggle
we
yet.
don't really know what that's like. But
Yeah.
based off of friends that we have,
Mm.
that
We can, yeah,
that's
we're,
kind of the only advice we can give, and that's not really I don't know.
yeah. This is more advice we'd say for those young married people or even people who've been married for a long, long time. Um, but we're not able to really share advice and stuff over if you have kids yet. But we can share our experience and what we've seen from friends or family members who do have kids. And yeah.
Rapid fire.
So yeah. Um, I think overall, just before we do our rapid fire, we just want to say if you take anything out of this, we just say to listen to each other, work on resolving your issues. Maybe right then, unless you have a partner who needs time, and then work with your partner in the ways that they need to be worked with. Um,
Just get to know your partner's triggers,
yeah,
I
get to
guess.
know your
Because
partner's
again, like
triggers.
everyone is different. So like
Yes, and it's going to be different when you're married versus dating because, you know, like we said in the beginning, you have the opportunity to leave the house and stuff sometimes when you're just dating. Um, but learn the triggers, listen to each other, and don't let it affect your romance and your dating life as a married couple. Because that's really important, and you can just become very. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like,
so actually, this makes me think like what if there are people that do need to leave the house? Because like I can see like I like to
well,
skate. So like I can see
yeah,
a point where like maybe we're upset and I'm like, I'm gonna go skate. Because skating is gonna help me.
but I think that's something that you would need to have a discussion of because, okay, like at night. Like if we're having a big fight at night,
Oh yeah,
obviously at midnight, I'm not gonna be okay with either one of us leaving the house
yeah,
and driving. So for instances like that, we would definitely say if you're not those people, don't do it. Um, but there are people who need to leave the house. And there are people who are in situations who definitely need to leave the house. So if you're those people, then totally understandable. And there's no shame in needing to leave the house either. People work in different ways and how they need to process things.
yeah. So it's just knowing your partner.
Yeah, just know your partner, have the conversations of what your triggers are. Preferably have the trigger conversation when you're not having a fight because that can help it sink in a little bit more and then help you before your next fight. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Now we can
hop
do
into
rapid
my
fire.
rapid fire. Where would you live if you could live anywhere in the world?
Oh, one of the blue zones. If I could live in the blue zone, I would live forever.
Which one?
um, I would either choose. No, I think I would. I would think I would choose the one in Italy. The one in Italy or the one in Okinawa, Japan, because you would love that.
Japan is. I was Japanese in a different life.
Yes, you were. Um, what is your what's one of your secret talents? He's thinking.
I
Cuz
don't
I
know.
I'll say this, when we first started dating, um he whipped out the good old armpit
That's
farts.
not a talent.
Some people can't do it. Some people cannot do armpit farts and I thought that was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
You're
I don't know.
welcome.
I feel like I'm very open about my talents.
Your talents. Okay, what's one of your secret talents?
I don't have secret talents.
Okay, what's a talent that would be weird that people wouldn't really think about? Still thinking.
I don't know.
I have one.
Fingerboarding.
Oh, fingerboarding. Yeah, yeah. He has got like the little skateboard that he does with his fingers. So yeah, that'd be yeah. It's a little
It's a secret
talent.
talent. Yeah.
It is a talent. Um, I had one that he thought was kind of funny where I cannot do ventriloquism by any means, but I can do like the small little words.
What is
But I have
that?
to like do my mouth of the Daddy, I locked in the closet.
Oh my gosh.
I did that with my mouth closed, you guys.
I forgot about that. That freaks me out every time.
Can't even do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It probably sounds super weird if you're just listening and you're not
Yeah.
watching, but yeah, I can do like mini ventriloquism things, but it
Mm,
looks really weird.
yeah, that freaks me out.
It does.
Um, I don't know why I can't read this.
Oh, you wrote it.
What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't had the chance to do so?
What if I wanted to do?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, travel more, go to places I've never been. Ride horses.
Okay.
I think I've maybe ridden a horse once in my life, like when I
I've
was really
never.
little, but I don't. Maybe I've never ridden a horse. I don't know, but ride horses that would be pretty cool. I've always wanted to learn to like ride a horse like really well, where you can like fast ride and like
Well, you're
feel
in Oklahoma,
super
so
super majestic.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, if you could have any theme song from any show be your theme song for your life, like this is your life is going by and your theme song is playing, what theme song would you want it to be?
Nobody would know, but one of the openings for Naruto when they're chasing Sasuke.
Okay, good to know. I
So my
wouldn't know what that
anime
is.
nerds will know that.
Okay, good.
But
Okay, you go.
um, if you could have dinner with any three people that are alive, who would it be?
Selena Quintanilla. She's a singer. Um, oh man, there's some actors that I don't know. This is hard. Ugh, maybe Alan Rickman, just because I love that actor. He was amazing. Um, and then That's a hard one. There's so many actors that I'd want. I'm not somebody who'd find much joy in like historic people. It's more like singers and musicians, but
So who's the
I'm trying to
third?
think of my third one. Dang, this is hard. I'll just I don't know. I don't know.
What about one of your grandparents?
Oh my gosh. Now you made me feel like a terrible person. My grandpa's. There you go. I'd say my grandpa's. I thought you meant like a celebrity.
No, I said any 3 people,
Okay,
dead or
well,
alive,
Selena Quintanilla
and your grandpa's.
and my grandpa.
Nice.
Okay. Last one. This was a really random one. I just was thinking, would you rather have burgers or hot dogs for the rest of your life?
Oh, burgers.
Okay, there
Burgers
you go.
sounds so good right now.
Really intense question right there.
We should go get Brahms after this.
Ugh, brown sounds so good. Did you say all your questions?
Yep.
Okay. Well, today we are not pulling a date idea, guys, because
We're
we're so backed up on dates
behind.
and we're not really showcasing how you need to put your dating at the forefront. We have done other things. We just have not documented it to show you guys. Like we did go to the fair, so that was one of our date nights, and we've done other stuff, but we haven't done the stuff that we've actually told you we're gonna do. So we're gonna get caught up on that and then start pulling date ideas again. So um, yeah. So just enjoy more romance in your guys' life, less fights, listen better, and that's really all the advice we have today. Do you have any advice?
Mm, guys, just say sorry.
Say sorry, but mean you're sorry. Don't say sorry just because you think it's gonna get the fighting to stop,
No,
because that's also
like
something.
own your shit.
Yes, own your shit, because saying sorry just to be like, sorry,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Like that is not a real apology. Show you're sorry by your actions.
Yeah. Well, I meant like just like
Yes.
own
Yeah.
up to it, just
Exactly.
apologize.
Yes. Yeah. I love you.
Love you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.